Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Today is April 19th, day after my daughter's 21st birthday. Reason that I'm here at this moment in time is because the murder of George Floyd is being summed up this morning at this moment in time. I was just listening to it, the summations, and I couldn't take it. I sat there for a moment. I cried like a baby, just watching. I've lived a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in some of the dangerous cities. I've been a military man across the waters. I've never seen but one man murdered in my life. One man murdered in my life. And that was the murder of George Floyd, May 25th, 2020, Minneapolis, Minnesota. What a police officer sworn to protect and serve. Not just one, four of them gained themselves upon this brother to continue to the perpetuation of a crime against people of color and black people that's been going on for 400 years. And as I sat there listening to this summation, and I'm reminded that what I was witnessing right there, my friends, was the same thing, identical things that black people and people of color have been going through ever since we've been here in this country. Ever since we've been here in this country. That is what was happening. And it was happening to us all over. Most recently, we've been killed by cops like nothing, and most of them get off. And to have just went through 4 years of a president who was all engaged in creating and establishing this stuff, a resurrection of this kind of treatment against people of color. And to see the number of people in this country who still hates, just like this policeman had his knee on this brother's neck, the rest of these people got their knee on our neck. They might not have the physical knee, but the hate to put that knee on our neck is right there. Is right there. And action is being taken throughout this country to show it, just as this showman showed the world about the hate that white supremacy represents. Now they want to make sure that they can cut back on the voting laws, that they can set it up so you don't have a voice. This is what we are going through after 400 years. And you're watching it right now, ladies and gentlemen, on television. Right now, you're hearing the story. You're seeing it being presented right before your eyes. The story of the black experience in America. And what are they saying? Put him in jail, make payback, get him. But what about all the other brothers and sisters that have been murdered? What about all of the oppression that we've endured? What about the pain and suffering that we've had to go through under the system of government? Well, I can always say, if we had only known the truth, if we had only known that God existed, if we had only known that God was love, if we had only known that if we could put our trust in God, we wouldn't have to fear no one. If we had only known. But then they co-opted the churches. They co-opted the scriptures, put in there what they wanted to have, put in the pulpit who they wanted to talk. And the ones who got it there on their own usually talked about what they heard. And their motivation was the same, to get some money, to be somebody, to exploit. And we find ourselves here today. And I think about the 30 or 40 years that I've been trampling across this country trying to tell the people there's a revenue, there's a blessing that you can get if you strive for it. And I can't get anyone to listen, to sit back and have to cry as I witnessed exemplified through George Floyd the oppression and murder of the American people and people of color, not just in America, but all over the earth, where persecution and suffering goes on. That's the sign that you've been controlled by Satan, controlled by evil, controlled by ignorance and stupidity and weakness. And then I'm thinking, while they're changing the laws in Texas, while they're going down in Atlanta trying to change the laws, and while people in Congress are trying to set up something that says we want to establish a committee that justifies the fact that only we, the certain type of people, are important. We are the only one that matters, and everybody. I mean, listen, ladies and gentlemen, So what does that say? What does that say that we as people of color, what does that say as we as people of God should do right now? You think we should settle back by just making sure the police can't do this? No, it should mean that everybody, white or black, who want to live on this earth, play a part in their maintenance with a career, working. But let's give them the best kind of opportunity. Make sure that they have available to them a job of choice, something that they can love doing. And all of the jobs are intertwined with what already exists that causes the manifestation of that which is essential for our survival. Now we got more workers utilizing the resources that are given to us freely, bringing an abundance that those who have suffered, those who have been crying because they didn't have food to eat, didn't have a home to stay in, didn't have no life, can now have it. And we can become a true sign, a true light to the world of what it means to be a representation of what is right. That is before us. And we got Congress up there trying to take us back down that path. And what are we going to do? No, my friends, there's only one thing we can do. We can make sure that there is some peace. And how do we get that? Justice. We can make sure that there is some prosperity. How do we get that? By getting everybody involved. We can make sure that there's some freedom because we don't need each other but to provide for us that which we give to others. Joy because we are doing what we came into the world to do. And after we've done that, what we've dreamed of is happening right before our magical eyes. There's no hunger. There's no suffering without lack of education. And you got that option, this option before you. How do you do that? You make up your mind that you're not going to put up with it anymore. Who make up their mind? Those who are being abused, you make up your mind. Those guys who are doing it to you, not going to make up their mind. You make up your mind. Don't be trying to say, well, they're going to cause me a little bit more struggle to do this, but I'm just going to struggle and still do it. Because when you struggle and still do it, you are still a nigger. So you got to get rid of the nigger out of you and the nigger out of them. But it's not going anywhere as long as you present yourself as a nigger. And what is a nigger? A nigger is one who does not know God. Because the moment you know God, your niggerism is over. And today, having experienced this, we should be able to understand that it is time that our niggerism is over. And it's not going to go anywhere as long as we accept it. So I'm talking to you, the American people today. You got a new president. He's a heck of a lot better than what you had. But he is still of that mindset. And you, who I'm speaking to right now, you're having a change of mind, but you don't have the courage to move. You are afraid to move. Why? Because you do not know the truth. And I'm telling you the stuff that I know is the truth, but that's not going to make you believe it. I tell you this. If you don't change, what you saw George Floyd go through was nothing compared to what the rest of us are going to go through if we let this go by and we don't make the change. So please, my friends, please, my brothers and sisters, and my wonderful children of God, wake up. Wake up. Do that, and everything will be all right. Thank you.